I think one of the things you mentioned, or one of the things I distill from this, thing that you just said, is that you're only as good as your weakest link. And you can get great surgery and you can have great PTs, but that's not enough. You need to take ownership. You need to do your thing and close the loop on making sure all those variables are under control, because we're only as good as our weakest link. And it's in surgery too. You got to do everything right. You can't, if you miss one thing, the whole thing falls apart. And I think it's really important. I think what we can do, and I think part of what you're doing, is giving back to the world by sharing your experience and showing the younger athletes that are out there and coming up that there is a path forward, but you got to control the variables. You got to do your homework and you got to work hard. And I think it's a great message. And I think doing that, I like to say to you, and I think we may have had one of these chats where, hey, I want to make you better than you were before. Because when we first met, I couldn't even believe that you were playing. I said that, and I still say
crazy experience.
It's impressive to me. Like, you were driving a race car with 3 wheels in a Grand Prix race, and you were still finishing the race. And you can't do that in real life with most situations. And a tribute to you to be able to function at that level. When I said to you, hey, I want to make this so, when you come back, you're better than ever, because you have been dealt such challenging cards and you really overcame them with such energy that was remarkable, impressive and admirable all the same time.
Thank you, Doc. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's, again, it's not just me, man. I have some great individuals. Neem is one of them, my family, everybody, they definitely, played a part in just me, they're my roots. You know what I'm saying? They and Neem continue to water my roots. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just real. It's just real, and I want to be a light for the world. You know what I'm saying? I want people to know. I feel like what I'm going through is people go through things. Just like you said, no matter what, you're going to get hurt. Sports, you're going to get hurt in sports. And in life, no matter what, you're going to go through something. And I want to be a light to show people that not only can you go through something, but you can stand at the top of the mountains, and no matter how many mountains you have to climb, and you can move them joints. So for me, that's what I'm focused on, and showing people man, God is real. So that's really what I'm focused on. That's why I can't never stop. I mean, it's not, obviously I got the energy too. I don't know where it comes from, but, but that's a big part as well. But Doc, what do you think is, I'm sorry to cut you, but.
No, I just wanted to say a couple of things that I think you're blessed in many ways. And I also had the privilege to meet your mom and dad. And I don't think I don't think it's unrelated that your mom, smart and energetic, and your dad, very bright, all contributed to your ability to be where you're at. And I think it's important for people to acknowledge, where we came from and who influenced us.
Yes,
and you said it yourself, your family and Neiman, and you're lucky to have those folks around you. And I think it's the total package thing to recover. And I don't want to, take too much time, but I think that's important to acknowledge. And I think you're lucky, and I think you're blessed, and good
Thank
for you.
Brother. I appreciate it. What do you think is the, one of the most, you have various sports that you work with, but what do you think in each sport is the most common injuries that you see out there?
Yeah. So for my world in basketball, if you look at the NBA stats and all players that come through, the ankles and foot injuries are the most common, but that doesn't mean they're the most devastating. For me, the things in basketball that I find most common are, knee and shoulder. And in the knee, this extensor mechanism like patella tendon, quad tendon is fairly common. And obviously ACL and meniscus. And we can talk about why that is. I mean, that's basketball. Football's more all over the place, from, ripped pec tendons to Achilles injuries, to knee and shoulder as well. But they take more brutal things, plus the concussion. And then I see, similar patterns in hockey, because I do a lot of hockey stuff because of my role with the Devils. And in those combat sports where there's greater force interacting, there's that, knee shoulder combination, dislocated shoulders, torn ACLs, torn other ligaments in the knee. So it's all over the place. But I think, basketball is a little more unique because the stresses in basketball in some ways are, on a hard court, a lot of volume of load, a lot of volume of time on the court. So it's just a little bit different.